Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm your interviewer. Across from me, we have the man himself, Ryan Alexander. Today, I will be asking him a series of questions, and we will see what his answers are. Ryan, let's get started. Yeah, let's do it. Alright, let's get into the first question. You obviously are coming down on your last days of high school. Is there anything you'd like to say as you count down on those days remaining? Well, high school is a time that really impacted me to a level that I can't even really describe. I don't think anybody can really. And it's a special time in the sense that it's always unpredictable and you never really know what's coming next. That's one of the more fun parts, some would tell you probably. Well, that's great. The next question we're all wondering is what kept you going through high school? Because it's not an easy time for anybody. Well, it's kind of weird, but I think it's like the thought of me sometime down the road looking back on it and trying to see what that whole vision looks like. Like, what is the future version of Ryan seeing as he looks back? Because I know he wants what's best for me. And I think everybody kind of has a destiny that's painted. And as time goes on and I have different experiences and people come and go, that painting kind of gets more clear and clear every day. And I know I have a purpose in this world, as does everyone else. So I would say just maintaining and fulfilling that destiny every day is what kept me going, I guess. Alright, Ryan. When you think of the best moments from high school, what comes to mind? Well, what really comes to mind is, some of the things that came out of some of the weird times of high school. Me and my friends, we've been through a lot of things most teenagers don't even experience. But we're a pretty close bunch, and having that bond that I know is sealed tight is a great feeling. And there's some things that even didn't work out, and there are some that I can think of that are obviously bigger than others, but I've always found a way to be grateful for those experiences. And you either win or you learn. And I think you always have to look for the good in everything. Sometimes that can be hard. There are times where it may feel like there is no good to be found, but if you have to put your head down and go through some rough times, you gotta do it. But do not give up. I've gone through it, I know people that have gone through it, and those times are never easy, but getting through those times in a way that propels you forward is most important. Sorry, I'm rambling, let's continue. No, continue. Well, when I say getting through those times in a way that propels you forward and how important that is, I mean it. Because everyone makes a dramatic shift in themselves during high school, and everyone has those moments and things that change them and kind of take you away from completely being there in the moment. And the first step in dealing with that is, experiencing it, feel that, go through it. People will notice that your mind is elsewhere and it's an odd feeling, but you gotta go through it. The next step in propelling yourself forward is being surrounded by the ones that really want the best for you. And my family personally was always there. They were huge during parts of my high school life when I needed them. My friends were always there as well. They were almost my drug, I guess you could say, because they kind of took me away from those thoughts in my head and made me feel like there was that good in life that I can get and that I now have. Now, I'm not going to name any names, but they know who they are. And people like this are very important to be in your presence when you are mentally healing from things. My final step was to make a few bigger lifestyle changes. And I like to say you can't keep looking for happiness in the same place you lost it. So even things that don't seem huge, just do it and change it. Because your brain is so comfortable and used to the mindset that once was. Changing simple things in your life change how your brain works and thinks. And for me, I stopped using social media at certain times to kind of limit distractions, to be more present with the ones around me. I started lifting at home, I got some personal goals completed. I just started kind of prioritizing and taking care of myself. That time was a bit ago now, and obviously it's all about maintaining and working on that consistency and being content with what you're surrounding yourself with now. Not letting those previous distractions get back to you no matter how much they want to. And inviting new things in as well. And when you better yourself, better things will come to you. And I've experienced that. And loving yourself makes loving others much easier too, I would say. That's great. Seems like you learned a lot. Now, Ryan, would you say that you have any regrets in high school? I've always marveled at the extent that this question can really go. Because people always talk about like their biggest regrets or what they would have done differently, but not really with me. There's obviously things I would like to play out differently, but those moments led me to where I am right now, and I'm okay with that. If I had the power to change a moment that happened in high school, then how would that affect me now? That thought has kind of scared me because I'm content with where I'm at now. Why would I want to mess with that? It kind of circles back to fulfilling that destiny that I was talking about earlier that I think everybody has. You know, everything that happens to me didn't necessarily happen for a reason, but it was supposed to happen because it did. You get that? It kind of sounds confusing, but it makes sense to me. Whatever happened to me was supposed to happen to me because it did. To make a long story short, no, I don't have any regrets. Alright, one final. Could I say one more thing? Yeah, of course, go ahead. You must prioritize discipline over motivation. Everyone has waves of motivation that they ride for a little while, whether it's 10 minutes or a few days. Motivation, while great to have, is almost cruel in the sense that it gives you false hope. Motivation makes you feel like you can conquer the world and gives you so much confidence. And after you come down from that motivation high, do you still feel that way? No. That's where the discipline comes in. Motivation is what makes you good at something. Discipline is what makes you great at something. I really think it is the difference there. You're not going to get any better at something if you only do it when you're motivated. The days where you wake up and you're like, nah, I'll do it later, or I'll do it tomorrow, those are the days where you need to do it most, when you have no motivation. That's what separates you from everyone else. The only person you have to prove it to is yourself. At least for me, it was that way. Motivation is great if what you want is average, but discipline will take you much further than the ones around you. I promise you. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Definitely a lesson to be learned. To wrap everything up here with my final question, what would you say you have learned throughout high school? I've learned that not everything is going to be amazing, and that is completely okay. Every senior, I think, should sit and think about how different things are now as to how you thought they'd be when you got here. Because I think, to me, that's the amazing thing about high school. I'm willing to bet that your friends are different, your interests are different, you're mentally different, you're hopefully physically different. Not only are you different than when you showed up here, you're different from what your little self thought you'd be like by this time too. I know it's such a simple thing, but when I sit and think about it, that's really the beauty of high school for me. Every day I came here and I sat in those chairs and I walked those halls, something happened to me that made me into who I am in this moment right now. And I think that's beautiful. And think how fast it went by. I have a harder time looking in my future now than when I did earlier in my life. Everything was so structured up to this point. Now it's my time to really create what's next. I know this next chapter in my life will go by fast, if not faster than this previous one did. All I want to do is create my own legacy and leave a mark on the places I've been and the places I'm going to go. So, to answer your question, I've learned that there really is no difference between you and the person that you really want to be. Well, that's all the questions I have for you, Ryan. Thank you for sharing your time with us, and we all wish you good luck on your future endeavors. Thanks for having me. I had a lot of fun. See you later!